This is the beginning, well, I don't know, it's the beginning of the Weetock South section, or the end of the Weetock Trail, period. Like if you started in the north and went to the south, this would be the end. Anyway, we are right now just a little less than half a mile south of Highway 58 on Hillfield Road. It's a little bit hard to spot where the trail continues, but just keep going straight. And you'll see where we've cut through here. This grass didn't used to be this tall, but anyway. My favorite part though is still kind of from the sawdust pile to here, which is, I believe, about 4 miles. Anyway, you can see we're walking in more or less straight line. There's a blaze on this tree here, and of course now you can't see it because these pine trees. I'm not sure if I want to cut those off because I usually don't cut down good trees unless they're in a trail. This is where the trail kind of begins. Anyway, once you get into the woods, the trail is fairly obvious initially, and I'm trying to keep it, cleaned up so it stays that way. Now I just raked this part of the trail. I know it's probably useless to rake it in the fall when the leaves are falling, but I kind of wanted to make the trail a little easier to follow. And there are parts of it that are harder to follow than this part, but I just decided to start here at the terminus and work my way back. Anyway, right here trails, well, it's not too bad. You can still make out where I raked it. These blue and white blazes are the ones we're following. Sometimes they will deviate from the metal blazes of the old Weetock Trail, and I suggest you stick with the blue and white blazes. You shouldn't have any real issues with this trail if you stay on the trail. It should be pretty easy to walk, except for hills and stream crossings, but that's part of the fun of hiking a trail. So this is a really beautiful trail. This is why it's my favorite section. There's a lot of streams and a lot of hills. You'd be amazed the elevation changes in here, considering how flat the general area here in eastern North Carolina is. I mean, I'm standing here at the top of this, what's probably a 30-foot drop down to the stream. Hopefully you can see that. I walk out on this log. It's probably a little slippery now that it's wet, but yeah, I can't walk on that. But yeah, there's beautiful valleys and hills all throughout this trail. So there are places where if I've kind of got a trail that splits and I want you to go one way, I will lay logs down to say don't go this way and kind of guide you in the right direction, because it's not always obvious. There is a blaze here, and another blaze here, but sometimes it's easy to get off the trail, although that one, if you missed that one, you'd end up back on the trail in a second anyway. There are quite a few logs to step over. They're too big for me to remove them or to cut through them, so you just have to plan on stepping over some large logs. But it's not a straight trail by any stretch. It winds a lot, which is, I should mention the other thing about this trail. It's got several lobes, and there are places where it comes very close to itself, and you can cut off an entire lobe if you know where to cut through. My plan is to make those cut-throughs official, to put markers to say that if you want to not do the whole trail, you can, this is where you turn, and you can pick up the trail then again in, you know, say 10 yards, because they come very close to each other if you know where to cut across. So there's a few places like this that are a little overgrown, but I've tried to make them as obvious as possible and easy to follow as possible. So I'll probably be back in here cleaning this up a little more eventually. Today I'm trying to plot the entire route. And I'm doing a little bit of chopping as I go, but as you can see here that the trail is very hilly, in a good way. You get to go up and down, and there's another one of those logs I was telling you about. Just too big for any of us volunteers to deal with, and it's fine. To me, it's all part of taking a hike in the woods. But this is definitely a nature trail. There's lots of beautiful scenery in here. If you descend into the valley to the stream bed, the stream is beautiful. Beautiful trees, hardwood trees, pine trees. Coming up here is a nice view of the valley down below. There's usually more water in this stream, but we've had such a dry summer. I think I mentioned that earlier. It's pretty dry in here. It's raining today, so who knows, maybe that'll help. Probably not. I don't think we're going to get that much rain. But this is what I love about this trail, is it's just beautiful. It's just peaceful in here. It's quiet. And this is one of those places where navigation can get a little tricky. So we've put a bunch of blazes, picked up the ones off the ground and put them on these trees so you could find your way into this little mess here. But when you're going in here, now that we have lots of blazes, it's fairly obvious. But you're going to go much further before you have to make kind of a left turn. I'll show you in a second here. And when we came through here at night, I tried to, I raked it as best I could, so it would be kind of obvious where you need to go. Because right about here, when you come out here, there's a blaze on this tree right here, but it kind of looks like you could go anywhere from here. So you're going to go towards this blaze, which is to the left. Well, depending which way you're coming on the trail, I guess. Coming the other way, it's pretty easy. Anyway, I think we put up a couple more blazes that we found, but I raked this so it'd be more obvious to where the trail is. And once you get into this little patch of heavy undergrowth, you can't really lose the trail at that point. But you got to find your way into this. So this is what you're looking for. You're looking for an opening into the heavy undergrowth. Don't worry, this doesn't last long, but you got to get through this, obviously. And then you come out in more open forest again. Yeah. A little more raked section here. Just wanted this all to be easy to follow. Do a little bit of... Okay, this one's a little weird. We're gonna dip down into the valley. This is actually an easy one to get messed up on. So when you come down in this valley and underneath this big old tree laying across the valley here, I honestly don't know how long this tree will be here, but in the meantime, it's here. So you have to duck under it. Okay, then you'll see there's blazes on the other side. But the trick is, When you get down kind of almost to the bottom, and just past this big old tree, and this tree probably will be here a long time, I hope so, you're gonna turn hard left, okay? And then you got blazes right in front of you here that almost look like you're gonna go right. No, you're gonna go hard left. You'll see I raked the trail a little bit here, make it a little more obvious, but there's blazes right there. Once you get to the top of the hill, you'll see that the blazes continue this way. The blazes do fall off the trees, so sometimes there can be a pretty good distance between blazes. But once you get up to the top of this hill, coming out of that dip, you'll be just running right along the edge of what I like to call Hidden Valley here. This is kind of a standalone little valley, separate from the other stream bed. But anyway, then we come up here and pick up the more established trail. Now keep in mind, as I've said before, the old Weetock trail doesn't follow the exact same course as the blue blazes, the blue and white blazes. So try to stick with the blue and white blazes, because that's the trail that we're keeping clear and hopefully improving on. But you will find places where you can see where there was an old trail, and there will be metal blazes sometimes marking it, but they're the old ones. So continuing along here, we're gonna come out of this. All right, so apparently we get to this log and we turn. You gotta watch, the trail definitely has some hard turns on it, and you got to keep an eye on the blazes. When you haven't seen a blaze in a while, you might want to backtrack, because I'm always surprised how easy it is to literally lose this trail. So here's another stream crossing, although there's no water in the stream right now, and it would be an easy crossing anyway. It's pretty narrow. There are wider ones we'll have to cross before we're done with this whole trail. See, now I got lost. Pretty sure I'm on the trail, but not quite sure where it goes. Oh, I think it goes this way. This is kind of the... I should probably mark this, but this is the kind of thing you run into. Is that if you look carefully, you can kind of see where the trail goes by the terrain, but it can be really easy to miss it. There's a blaze right up in front of me, but it's kind of hard to see. I don't have any handy blazes, so I'm just gonna have to let that go. But hopefully you'll find your way through there. Once you get through there, there's a lot of blazes again. It's pretty clear. I think what happens, well, I know what happens is the blazes, you know, they're getting very brittle, so they just break and fall off. Yeah, this area is a little twisty, and you gotta watch. I have some yellow ribbons here. They're not very easy to see, but that's what I had with me the day that I was marking this. So if you see in this section, if you see some yellow ribbon, we're gonna see some more in a minute. But yeah, I did that. We basically, or I say we, I had to hack through a lot of this stuff. Now when you get to this point, okay, there's a big yellow ribbon hanging in the tree, and I'm going to take that down because I hate to litter. But for now, it's there because it used to be really thick coming in, and that was to mark the turn. Okay, so this is an important thing to note. If you go the wrong way on this trail, you're going to end up down, well, if you go far enough, you'll connect with a different part of the trail. But that's not where you want to go right now. So we came in by the yellow ribbons, and we're going to take, well, at least in this direction, we're going to take a hard 90-degree left turn. We're going to go under this yellow ribbon in the tree, and we're going to go on what is basically a straight line trail here that would go, this trail will take you all the way to Highway 58. So it'll come out right across from the church on Highway 58. Of course, we're not going to go that far. We're going to take turn off of this, and that's another thing that you've got to pay attention to. We'll get to that in a second here. Okay, this is growing over really fast, and this is why I have that big yellow ribbon up there in the tree, so that when you come into this, you can, if you can't navigate this trail, you can see, well, I hope you can anyway, the yellow ribbon's a ways back now, but you can see hopefully the yellow ribbon hanging in that tree, so you know you're on the right course. I'm gonna have to come through and clean this up again soon. Not doing it today. Today we are just trying to navigate a trail. Now there's a trail, there's a bypass trail here that maybe we should blaze instead of that, but this will actually go around this little patch of fast growing stuff. I don't know that it's a big deal. As long as we keep this open, it's no big deal, but you might see a path around it, but you still need to converge down there under that yellow ribbon in order to pick up the trail going back the way we just came. If you're coming in opposite direction we're going now anyway. I'm actually walking the trail backwards technically, because I went in at the end of the trail. And for this loop though, this might be the best way to hike it. I think it's probably I don't know that it's the easiest way to navigate. It might be easier to navigate the other direction. It's hard to say. There's some places where navigating it one way is easier, other places where navigating the other way is easier. But now the trick on this section here, this little stretch, it's pretty easy to just get hauling ass through here and go right past the turn that you need to make if you want to stay with the Weetock Trail. So I'm going to try to make that obvious here. I actually kind of want to put a sign up. If you kind of watch to your right, you'll see where we blazed the trail going to the right, but you know, when you're walking you tend to watch what's in front of you, and that's what gets you into trouble here. So one thing you can look for is this hanging. I know there's a lot of these, but this particular one, if you can kind of get how this looks, it's a pretty good indicator that you're getting close to the turn. Okay, so here's the turn. Now you could go straight. If you go straight down this trail, you're going to come out on Highway 58. So just so you know, if you need a quick way out of the forest, you know, maybe it's on fire or something, just book straight out here. It might be a half a mile to 58, but you'll come out on Highway 58. But the Weetock Trail, I'm turning to the right. The Weetock Trail goes to the right. Now I hung a bunch of yellow blazes here, and there's some blue blazes to make this really obvious. But we're gonna go on the Weetock. So here we go. Here we come. Now I should point out that this road will also take you back to Highway 58 if you go far enough on it. If you turn to the left on this road and go down versus following the Weetock, again we're staying on the Weetock, so we're not going Highway 58 right now. We're going to take this, what is really obviously easy to navigate road now. Okay, I'm coming up on the lowlands by Hunter's Creek here, and this is not really the end of this road, but it's kind of where it gets to be less of a clear road. But keep in mind that as you're walking down this road, there will be blue blazes alongside the road to tell you, you know, that you're on the trail, but don't let them fool you into like leaving the road thinking, well, they're telling you to go somewhere else. Stay on the road until you get down here to where it basically goes underwater. There may or may not be standing water here when you get here, but this is pretty clearly swampland. We're adjacent to Hunter's Creek now, pretty close to Highway 58. So we're almost on the boundary of Jones County and Cartwright County. Anyway, when you get here, the trail is going to take a right turn. and we're gonna go off on what is kind of another road. It's pretty good. The trail's pretty easy to follow here. There's an old deer stand if you want a landmark. I don't know how long it'll be here. It's pretty old, but right now it's here. There's some pretty obvious blue blazes to tell you that you're gonna go this way. So you're gonna walk along the swamp, basically. It's actually kind of pretty. The mosquitoes can get bad down here different times of the year. I'm surprised they weren't as bad later this summer as they used to be. I think we had such a dry summer, they eventually kind of died off. They were really bad this spring. The mosquitoes were horrendous, at least at sunset anyway. They weren't necessarily so bad during the day, but man, when the sun set, they just came out in force. But the mosquitoes on this trail seem to vary a lot from season to season and year to year. So I can't really tell you what you're going to encounter when you come out here. I would always carry some sort of repellent with me if you don't want to just put it on preemptively. There is kind of an old road that goes through here, and we're going to stay on that road, if you can see it, for a bit further. And so if you happen to not see blazes, just try to stick to this road. It probably isn't easy to see right now from where you are, but anyway, the other thing to keep in mind is for a good deal to come, we will be walking with the swamp, the lowlands, pretty much right next to the trail. In this direction, they're on our left. Obviously, if we were going the other direction, they'd be on the right. But we will never go too far from the lowlands. So if you lose the trail, probably the best advice I can give you is to cling to the swamp. Don't walk in the swamp, but stay relatively close to it. You can stay 50 feet in, but stay on the hill. And just continue as long as it isn't too hard to walk. If it's too hard to walk, then obviously find an easier trail. But you will pick up the trail again, because the trail eventually, if it doesn't stay right by the swamp, it will go back there. That's sort of the whole point of this particular section of the trail, is it tracks the edge of the I don't know what you call the highland. Kind of stays right on the edge of the higher ground. So here we go. I don't know if you can see it now, but there's this kind of road bed that we're walking in. It's a really old road bed, and it's pretty hard to detect that it's a road bed now. There's, this tree here wasn't here when the road was made, but it does give you a pretty easy track to follow. So if you look in the distance, I got a straight shot ahead of me that is the road, and as far as I know, the trail doesn't deviate from this road until the road kind of peters out. So we did a U-turn after we left the road around this big tree. We came in here, did a U-turn. Okay, so now we come here. We're gonna kind of hang to the left. I'm sorry, to the right. And look up here, you'll see it's not much of a trail. It's not very obvious, but there are blazes. If you don't lose it here, you'll probably be okay, because that's the tricky part. I tend to get lost right there just about every darn time. After that, it's not too bad. And we're getting back on the old Weetock trail again, so now we have metal blazes and blue blazes to go by, which is always nice when they are actually on the same trail. I think they stay together for quite a ways now. Don't count on that, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be following metal blazes and blue blazes for a while. And this trail is definitely pretty easy to lose. Not sure if I'm still on it or if I lost it, but go a little bit further. See if I can see a blaze here. I don't want to get off the trail because I'm laying down a GPS track. It's supposed to help you follow the trail, and if I get completely lost, it's not going to help you any, is it? Normally what I do is just kind of circle around till I found a blaze. Oh, there's a blaze there down the hill. So I'm thinking that we were supposed to turn. Probably we're just, and now we're okay. I'm not sure if we're leaving the metal blazes behind, but we're dropping down into the valley here again. It's kind of like what I was saying. We tend to hug the swamp, so we're going back. You know, we're picking up the metal blazes, so we're still on the old Weetock trail. And if you look to my left here, you'll see that there's a ravine, which might have water in it normally, but in a little while we'll be right alongside the swampy stuff again. We're kind of up on a nice, oh, this is just beautiful country in here. Look at how open this is. And since there's no mosquitoes, it's just absolutely lovely. And now okay, so we're doubling back. There's a sharp turn there in the trail. You gotta watch for those when you don't see blazes out in front of you. Although if you think about it, we would have been walking right into the swamp in a little while, so we couldn't keep going the way we were going too much further. There is some logic to the path of this trail, so if you just can't find a blaze, sometimes it helps to just think about where would the trail have to go. I mean, if you're standing here and you have no idea where the next blaze is, you can look to your left and you can see it's nothing but swamp. And you know, since the goal of this trail is to kind of stay close to the swamp, you're not going to turn to the right and go through all that into there. Although there's a blaze over there. There is. That's crazy. Do you think I got lost again? See, what threw me is this tree that has fallen down here. It's kind of blocking the trail. So, but there's a blaze up here, which means I went around the tree, and I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have climbed over it. But hopefully, if you're following my GPS track, you'll forgive me for taking a detour. So now we're going, I guess we were supposed to go around the other end of the tree. Yeah, maybe I'll just walk that just to have it on the GPS, but so you can see the correct track. We'll go back kind of to where we were. Yeah, see, we got lost. I got lost when I came up to this tree, and I decided to dip down around it. It is pretty well blazed, but it looks like it goes right through this tree. So that's why I went around to the bottom. Anyway, so this is about where I got lost right here. So we're gonna turn around and go back the way we're supposed to go, which was to the right, and get to this big fallen tree. We're going around the stump of the tree, and there are lots of blazes here, so it's not too hard to track. Once we go around the stump of this tree, then we come back down the hill. Whew! Starting to wear myself out here. At some point, we're gonna cross over this ravine, so I guess it's down here. We would have, the way I went would have been fine. But I had to look up the hill and see the blaze. Alright, so we get a little bit of weird terrain here to get across, and then we're back up. Will be, holy mackerel. I guess we're gonna go down this, looks like, well, the old trail follows this. I don't know if the new one does. I guess we'll find out, won't we? I'm going with the metal blazes for a little while here to see if we find another blue blaze. Sometimes they will go in opposite directions. Oh, nope, we're picking up a blue blaze down here. Yeah, there's one here. So I know you probably saw it before I did. I suck at this. here I am trying to, this is like the blind leading the unblind, but you know, I never said I was a great trail master or anything. So here we have another big tree. This one looks like you can almost go under it. It's a monster though. So is this, nope, I'm not on the trail anymore. The trail actually goes around this tree. So now I messed up my GPS track again. Hopefully, like I said, you'll forgive me for that. So the blue trail goes down here. Look, if you want to just cross that tree, be my guest. You'll still be on the trail, or you'll pick up the trail in a second. But I think we now go back up again. So just keep in mind the logic of this trail. We're following the swamp on our left. So if you can't find a blaze, just kind of stay on the ridge, and you'll see here we have more blazes. It would have been quicker actually to cross these two logs, but anyway, that's not the trail. You don't want to just be cheating, taking shortcuts. We'll talk about shortcuts later. So this, I think this whole trail runs about 4 miles if you do the whole thing with all the loops, and you know, because it loops, it has lobes, all the lobes. But anyway, what I'm saying is that you can cut any lobe off if you know where to cut through, which I said earlier. And I might show you where you can do that in a couple places. Of course, this video isn't very useful for that because you don't know exactly where I am when I'm telling you this. However, I can mark it on the GPS track where the cut throughs are. You can actually kind of see where they would be because you see where the trail almost meets with another section of the trail. Anyway, we're just about out of that swampy area. We'll still be walking alongside this thing for a while, but we'll start gaining some elevation. We're gonna come up on this hill here. This is actually a pretty high spot, and this is what I was saying about this trail. The elevation changes are pretty significant considering where we are. I mean, this is eastern flat Carolina. All right, well, I turned the camera off for a little while and you missed some tricky spots, but I don't know if this is helpful for navigation anyway. This spot here, it's really beautiful actually. We're off the official Weetock trail. The Weetock trail goes a little bit different route, but we're gonna go through between these two big trees right above this ravine. It's fairly visually unique, and we are back on the Weetock. It goes out and around and comes back this way. But the important thing to note here is that as we come out of this, we are going to take a hard left. I've lost this, you know, just kept going straight and gotten off the trail, and you're not really going to pick the trail up again up there. So you want to make the left turn, go back along the other side of this ravine that you just came up around, and I'm just gonna track along here. I'm probably not exactly in the right spot, but we'll see the blazes. And then once we get past this, we'll turn again. The scenery is just unbelievable. And here we go, back up again. Just what we wanted, more climbing. Of course, I have no idea where we're going. Oh, there we are. So we're gonna kind of, I don't know if we had to go up all that way or not. Trail kind of stays right along the edge of the hill here. Oh, I just, oh boy. There's a blaze. I don't see any blazes, but you can kind of see the trail. This is why I want to rake the trails, because then they'll be really obvious. If you don't see a blaze, you'll be able to just follow the cleared trail. But it's going to take me a while. Oh boy. It's just all great fun. You really got to watch your step, by the way, because there's holes where old stumps rotted out. There, obviously there's roots and other things to trip over. Oh, one more thing I want to point out that I didn't mention when I should have. We got down there by Hunter's Creek, and it is, although snakes are a normal hazard in eastern North Carolina, and you always have to watch out for snakes on the trail. When you get down in that area by Hunter's Creek, that's some real swampy area, and it's definitely a home to lots of water moccasins. So definitely want to watch your step there. I don't know where we're supposed to go here exactly. It looks like he wants me to walk right alongside the ravine. I know at some point we're going to go up this hill, so pretty well got that down. I gotta go up here. I don't think we have to go anywhere except up. There's a trail that goes right by this big old tree. That much I know. I know this area pretty well. I think we should have just come up here, but the trail markers, maybe we're just supposed to go through those and come up. Anyway, at this point you can look for this huge beech tree. I think it's a beech tree. And this fallen one, but we got to walk across this fallen one here. This is what I was saying. We get up on this really high ridge looking down over the stream. This is kind of the main stream through here. There's several side streams that we cross and go around. This is the main one. And what we're going to do with this trail here is we're going to go up here, cross over, and then come back down the other side of the stream. So we're running kind of, you can't say parallel because the trail doesn't run in a straight line, but we're running pretty much across from the other, the part of the trail that we're going to be on once we turn around and go back that way. One of my landmarks. This is a huge, huge hollow tree. And it's hollow all the way up. You can look, you can't, you know, look up with the camera because it's dark up there, but you can shine a flashlight up, way up into that tree. Anyway, it is gigantic. It's probably 6 feet across at the base, and it's pretty cool. Anyway, after that, we kind of go down along the edge again. Not sure exactly where, oh, there's the blaze there. Now we're getting pretty close to where we're going to cross over to the other side of the stream. And by the way, we've just completed a lobe. We're actually very close to where we came through when we were coming into this lobe. Just gotta find our way back out of here. Not quite sure. Oh yeah, the trail keeps kind of going down into the valley here. So this is a little bit hard to follow because you're kind of expecting the trail to be on a little more even terrain, but it comes down to here, and it, again, you gotta watch your step around here. This is some pretty rough. This is definitely not a trail for someone who has trouble walking. Cross this thing, come along here. tend to lose this trail pretty easily in here, so just because of the way it goes along the ridge there. But here we got a blaze. Okay, so now we're gonna cross over, and I'm gonna point out another cut through in a second that's really useful. There's one of the streams I was talking about. You gotta step across. Here's kind of another one. There's really not any water in it, so it's just beautiful in here. Always pretty. I just went on kind of knowing where the trail was supposed to come out and cut through. I ended up leaving the trail, but then picking it up where I knew I would. Anyway, now we're on the reverse tack on the other side of the stream going back. This has been great fun, but I get frustrated when I can't find the trail, and the blazes were absolutely non-existent. So if you can follow my GPS track, not all the side loops I took looking for the trail, but the actual track that comes through to here. I know you don't know where here is, but you'll know because you'll know which track continues on. Anyway, just stick to your guns and you'll find your way down through. We are really, really close to the trail that we came from the car, or from the road on, and we could take a shortcut back right now if we had to. Okay, I do want to point out, I know you're getting tired of listening to me, but I do want to point out that the trail gets easier to follow on this side if you actually make it this far. Then you will have a much easier time. I should also point out, when we get to the bottom of this little hill here, we will intersect one of the lobes on my track. When I was looking for the trail, I actually came up to the blazes that are at the bottom of this hill. I knew, though, I'm familiar with this trail, so I knew when I found these blazes, and if you're looking at my full GPS track, you'll see that I'm basically intersecting my previous track. But when I found these blazes, I knew that I was on a different segment of the trail. If you were to follow that track and skip a little bit of the trail and you come to this spot here, which is right down the bottom, the trail going this way is going back the way you came. So you'd want to go to the left and go up the hill. You'll know you're on the right track when you come to this huge fallen tree. I'll show you in a second here. If you encounter this tree on your travels, if the ravine is on your left, then you're heading... Okay, so we've been going backwards on the trail this whole way. So you're heading backwards on the trail if the ravine is on your left. But that's the way we're going today. So for this loop that we're doing, you're going the right direction. Okay, and it's pretty easy to follow the trail from here. This is a little better marked and definitely more traveled, so it's a little easier to spot. It's a beautiful trail, though. It's absolutely gorgeous. You've got this stream bed, you've got lots of hills and lots of twists and turns and trip hazards. Oh, it's definitely not a trail for the faint of heart. And because we go all the way down to Hunter's Creek and around and back, I mean, we practically went back to where we started from in order to get onto this segment of the trail. So we're really making the most out of this terrain. We're really zigzagging around, going way out, doing a lobe and coming way back, and then doing another lobe back. And this is a spoiler, but my plan is to take you down towards the sawdust pile. We're not going to go to the sawdust pile. We're going to jump off of the Weetock Trail and take a connector that I have to the Hillfield Road. And we're going to come out just about a quarter of a mile down from where we parked. So, we'll basically make a loop with very little road walking. And it's an interesting challenge. It's not a super easy trail, but it's a lot of fun. Oh boy. Not quite sure. I think I went, yeah, I left the trail a little bit there, but it's all the same. Just keep coming down. Pretty sure there's blazes, but if you find this really ugly looking tree, you're coming out in the right spot. There's a blaze right here next to it, but yeah, here, so you can see, looks like the tide's actually maybe low because it's usually more water here, but we're in kind of a salt marsh kind of area. This is not the trail, by the way. Obviously deviated from the trail, but pretty much couldn't walk through here if you wanted to. But anyway, that's that. I'm just kind of showing you around a little bit. We'll just try to find our way back out of here without... This is kind of funny. This blaze here is not on the trail. I think we're gonna move this because this is a little misleading. It should be up here, but I don't really have a place to put it, so I should just throw that away. Anyway, here we are back on the trail. Some more logs to cross. Lots of those around here. And we'll climb back up the hill. Telling you, if you're not into hill climbing, this might not be your trail. So now you can look down and see the kind of salt, well, I say salt marsh because it's tidal, but it's basically just a marshy area. You can follow that water back to Hunter's Creek if you're really daring. I mean, that's it's going to be muddy, it's going to be full of snakes, and it'll be quite the adventure, actually. Too much timber and foliage to take a boat through, so you just have to walk and swim and, you know, struggle a lot. Isn't it pretty though? I think it's kind of pretty. Come over the edge here, we come to another little stream. And now this is a different stream than the one we were following before. It's flowing back the other way, which is important because you're trying to get your sense of direction. The other stream was flowing the direction we're walking, and this one's flowing against our walk. Now I'm going to deviate from the trail again here for a second, because down here, this is the old Weetock went through here. That's why this bridge is here. It's kind of swampy and muddy, so I guess that's why they took the trail around this. But it's kind of pretty down here. And so just for reference, the Weetock is up on top of that hill in front of me. Now, if you keep following the trail, you're going to go way down here and loop back. But you will loop back. That's the trip back to the sawdust pile. We are not going to go there on this loop. But if you wanted to, you could cross here and go to the right and actually go back the same place we're going. Because we're basically going to follow the trail down to where it doubles back, and then we're going to leave the trail and get onto Hillfield Road. I don't know, so the people that are doing the videos of the other sections of the Weetock, I think, are really missing out and misleading you, because this section is just so beautiful. And we're now actually getting out of the best part of it. We're moving into the, I'm getting pretty close to the cut down. Not too far to go before we'll be on the road. Alright, so now here's the critical time, this moment of truth, because the Weetock Trail, which we're still on right now, but we're about to leave, is going to cut across this stream, and it's going to go back on the other side of the stream. So remember when I walked out to the bridge there? It's going to go right past that bridge on the other side. And it's going to keep going down to the sawdust pile, which is pretty cool. And that will, I mean, you can go past the sawdust pile and keep going all the way down to the culvert, and you can take back to Long Point Road, and obviously it's one long trail. But we're going to leave the Weetock Trail right now at this juncture where it crosses the stream. We're going to keep going up the stream, and we have some night blazes on this trail to make it easier to find at night. I don't think you need them during the day, but my advice, since this isn't really the trail, my advice to finding your way through here is to stay close to the stream. If you wander up the hill, you'll get all turned around and you'll get into some underbrush or low growing brush or whatever. So if you kind of stay down here close to the stream, I mean, you don't have to stay right on the stream, but don't let yourself wander off too far away from it, because that's when you'll get messed up. Now we do have an actual trail here that I take coming back across the other side. And if we can find it, which shouldn't be too hard to find. Again, I'm staying right by the stream here. I'm just going to stay by the stream until I pick up this little trail, which will also stay close to the stream, by the way. But there is a trail, and there are markers on the trail. You just can't really see them during the day. If you're out here at night with a headlamp, you'd see this trail lights up, because we got reflective markers on some of these trees. But by day, it's pretty easy to get through here. Again, when you're looking at this sprawling out, just kind of stay towards the stream. You know, don't kill yourself. Don't walk through anything that's going to be difficult to walk through. But if you stay over here by the stream, you will have no chance of getting lost. Okay, so we're just going to keep going. And as you can see, there is a trail here. We've cleaned this up pretty good. It's just the trail doesn't really run all the way because it's not officially a trail. Okay, so after you get here and you cross these, the trail will lead you right up to the stream bed. And you're going to cross over the stream bed. And then I think the trail from here to the road is pretty obvious. You're going to go up the hill. Ugh. None of this is marked, by the way. We don't have trailblazes, but I have carved out all the, you know, it's not too hard to follow. I'll take you through it this time. Well, you should have my GPS track. There's more than one way to get out of here. If you get messed up, you can't really get lost here. We've got a trail that runs parallel to us on my left. That's pretty obvious. And then, I mean, it's not an official trail, but it's a pretty clear trail. And then over on the right side, you've got a cut down that connects to Hillfield Road. And if you wanted to, and you're a glutton for punishment, you could probably just follow that stream right up to the road, because it does go up and under the road. So if you're just determined to do it the hard way, because there's a lot of undergrowth. But this trail isn't that hard to follow, I don't think. There are a couple of turns. It's kind of easy to head off the trail when it makes a turn, but I didn't really lay this trail out. I just cleaned it up, so can't take credit for its twists and turns. We're almost there now. Across this big old log. You're gonna see how beautiful this loop is, in spite of the fact that we walked a pretty good walk. I don't know how long I've been out here, but it's not a trivial distance. Probably I'd say 3 miles. I'll check the track. Of course, I did a few detours. But we're gonna come out pretty close to where we went in, which is kind of sad. Walk this far and then come out like right where you went in. But that's the fun of it, right? It's a loop. Eventually you gotta go back to where you started from. So here we are. This is the trail I was saying that runs kind of parallel. If you got lost, you could pick up that trail. Just have to go up top of the hill. Anyway, this will bring us out to Hillfield Road. Probably a quarter of a mile down from where we parked, where we went in. Again, just follow my GPS track.